is imperative. They are fully supervised. Finally, we ask you to turn all mobile phones to silent and keep conversations to a mobile as a courtesy to your fellow passengers while they call themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we thank you for your attention and wish you a been more of course, Stratford and Shakespeare were and there's no doubt that the river itself played a large part in inspiring the bard and painting. But while Stratford is a town rich in literary culture, nestling in the rolling Warwickshire countryside, you wouldn't be surprised to hear that rural market towns played an important role in the development of the Industrial Revolution. A link between the coastal port of Bristol and the industrial powerhouse of the West Midlands, the canal basin through which we are travelling is the point where the Avon met the vast British canal network and the horse-drawn tramway to Magdalen Marsh in the agricultural Cotswolds. At its peak, over 181,000 tons of coal were transferred annually through this small market town from the north and Midlands. Goods from all over the British Empire were distributed throughout the country. The history of Stratford railways extends even further. The name Strat comes from the Old English strat, or a river crossing. Since Saxon times, the Avon, the ancient Celtic word avon, has been crossed at Stratford by traders and travelers. Well, it's hard to imagine that this wonderful open space, now known as Bancroft Gardens, and well hosted buskers and street entertainers, crowds of curious international students and holiday makers from all over the world, was once an industrial centre with 2 canal basins lined with wharves and warehouses during the Industrial Revolution in the 19th century. But as commerce demanded the swifter transfer of goods in the early 20th century, road and rail freight replaced the water, and the warehouses were nowadays it is reborn as a thriving commercial centre with restaurants, leisure boats, pubs, and unique fleet of trading boats and tourists. The slow decline in waterborne trade was echoed around the country as well as over the waters, and in 1950 the Inland Waterways Association instigated the restoration of the lower Avon navigation under the effective and energetic leadership of Douglas Bath. It was the first restoration of its type initiated by the Inland Waterways Association, and in 1962 the first phase was completed and run by volunteers.
Oh, we're going down in the
success of the restored lower Avon navigation led to further restoration work being carried out, this time on the upper Avon. Under the guidance of project manager David Hutchins, who already reopened the southern section of the the work was completed within 5 years. And in 1974, the navigation to Stratford was ceremonially reopened by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. A year later, the late Queen Elizabeth II travelled upon the coast. Thanks to the hard work of Messrs. Barwell and Hutchins, along with the industrious teams of volunteers from the Avon Navigation Trust, this is now the beautifully maintained feature of Stratford. By the Lock and Bridge, visitors can enjoy street entertainers playing to the crowds in the Rose Garden mini amphitheatre, or marvellous wines, including many of Stratford's famous swan population, in the nature reserve where the footbridge joins the basin. When the poet and playwright Ben Jonson dubbed William Shakespeare the sweet swan of Avon, he was conjoining 2 of Stratford's most famous residents in a union that would stand throughout history. As we descend in the dock, you may have noted that this is a tiny photo. This is for 2 reasons. Firstly, the descent is much harder than the ascent, but also if the crew misjudge the length of rope they use, the boat will be left hanging in midair. Not embarrassing. The The skipper must also ensure that the boat is held in the lock, as there's a large block of concrete behind this boat called a sill. To be positioned at the boat. Finally, there's something else I should tell you about this log. There's a very nervous disposition who wish to cover their ears. But local legend has it that it's haunted by the ghost of a long dead lock. And sometimes, to open the gate on the left. Stay watchful, you may even see it having a mystery.
Look, everybody, the
Is the imposing sight of the Royal Shakespeare Theatre. Sometimes affectionately known by locals as the Belgian. It stands next to the site of the original theatre, which was built in 1879, but destroyed by a mysterious fire in 1926. A national competition was held to redesign the theatre, and the winner, Elizabeth Scott, became the first female architect in the country to design such a highly prestigious building. Even in those days, she was still too young to vote. Modern was a fan. The great opening in 1832. The great English composer, Sir Edward Elgar, even described it as unspeakably ugly and lonesome and an insult to human intelligence. In general, though, the design proved popular and well displayed visitors' hearts. So much so that when the theatre underwent its full half-year facelift and reopened in 2010, much of the grand Art Deco facade was repaired, costing around £112 million. The majority of the uses took place inside the house and has been hailed as a triumph, with both actors and audiences singing its praises and ensuring that the theatre's reputation as the ultimate venue for Shakespearean productions will remain unrivaled well into the 20th century. The tower was added as a nod to the original design of the theatre, and to the rear of the main building was the swan, much of which remained intact after the 1926 fire, and which offers a reminder of the ornate Victorian theatre that was lost in the Inferno. It is said that the Swan Theatre was appointed by the death of the watch performance. The government of its it disappeared.
Just checking, is everybody listening okay? Exciting news for
Ideally with shade.
On your left is the Stratford's recreation ground, which often acts as a floodplain after extended periods of rainfall, creating a huge lake and putting an immediate stop to any fun and games for the locals. Beyond this point, the river turns into a roaring torrent, which is far too high and too fast for boats to navigate. The Colin P. Witter Lock ahead of us, previously known as Stratford Lock, takes boaters on down to Evesham and beyond. Like so much of the work on the Avon navigation, it was built by prisoners, in this case from Gloucester Jail, with the help of volunteers. The lock is unusually deep, and thanks to the unstable nature of the ground, had to be reinforced by girders. Unfortunately, when it was completed, not everyone was a fan. One local lady even went so far as to describe it as Mr. Hutton's monstrous erection in the park.
Are you listening there, lady?
Let's turn by the pool. This is the rather industrial-looking daisy chain of barrels, linked together to ensure that no boat accidentally take a whitewater excursion over the rapids. Beyond the boom, you might be able to make out the large metal sluice gates, which are used to control the river level and prevent Stratford from flooding. The turn can take some effort. The boat is nearly 70 feet long, flat-bottomed and very heavy, so if there's a gust of wind, it can behave like a giant windsock.
Yes, get him out!
As I am sure, Shakespeare was born on the 23rd of April, 1560.